Hey everybody, how's it going? Welcome back to the Front Lounge with Congos. I'm seeing two Dylans there. It looks like he's in person. We don't have to worry about his internet now. Hopefully Johnny's internet stays good. Good to be back. Haven't seen anybody or pretended to see anybody on the stream in a while. We got some announcements, and also we just thought we'd get back to it.
Yeah, someone was saying it's been like, 3.5 months? It probably has. I feel like the last one was end of June or maybe beginning of July that we did one. I think we've all just been on a self-discovery, fact-finding journey.
Well, also, 12-year-olds get to have their summers off. We should have our summers off too.
Summer vacation.
Hey, man, I was building a studio.
Let's see. Can you turn your camera at all? Or?
I could, but I don't think it's a good idea. It's still a mess.
It's the same as me. If you look, in fact, I don't have my really cool sound panels up, but if you turn my camera around, there's a pile of junk still. It's been 3 months.
Why did you take those sound panels down?
I've got an electrician coming to put some, what are they called? Electrical outlets so I can put lights on the top of them, and he needed them down, and they're kind of difficult to get up, so I just forgot. I said, screw it.
Yeah, it looks super cool. You should show a picture for that wide angle picture that you took.
Yeah, I'll throw one up.
While we're here, everybody hearing everything okay? You always have to remember how to plug the cables in when you haven't done a stream in a while. Just hit us up on the chat.
There's no way you can throw that one of the screens up on this, can you, Joe?
Which one?
There's 4 up.
I can, but it'll go out to the stream when I share it. So
okay.
All right.
So get a few little announcements out of the way before we begin the chat. So we have a new song coming out on October 28th. It's called "Turn This Around." Pretty excited about it. Let's see what else we got. The merch store is back up. And then we have slotted for the rest of the year, basically pretty much every 2 weeks, we've got new releases in there. Some of them new, some of them will be, instrumentals of the albums that are not out yet instrumentally. And then we were thinking around Christmas time, it'll be like Lunatic and Egomaniac instrumentals, which I know a lot of people have asked for a long time.
Yeah, I think just Lunatic, actually.
As Egomaniac then next year.
Yeah, we'll do it sometime next year. Got to play that algorithm game. So the track that's coming out, I saw a bunch of people on Discord talking about, which one is it, because we've previewed so many songs on Discord, and it's none of those. I don't, like you were saying, Jesse, I don't think anyone's heard even a snippet of this one. It's completely unheard by anyone. I haven't even listened to the final mix.
Yeah. Well, because I think the ones that I played in process on the live streams, I thought I was going to finish first, but then this one just kind of popped up and I said, okay, let's finish this one. I think maybe next week we could play when does it come out? Is that 2 weeks from now?
Yeah, I think the week of, it comes out the 28th, so that week, whatever that is, 22nd, 23rd, whenever we do the podcast, which we're going to do them on Mondays going forward, I think. So we'll preview that song then. Yeah. That's where we're at. Going to take a second to get, my brain is like so out of podcast style talking. Going to just be more casual on these, and then you got to get, but also you listen back to a casual
funny,
conversation on a podcast and it's boring.
It's funny that you have no shortage of words or ideas on the Instagram reels that you've been doing.
Yeah, that's because you should see the outtakes. I'm gonna do this as a reel, but I was saying, if you saw my wife's face when she comes down to the studio and I'm jumping around trying to get some stupid shot, that would be funnier than any reel I could ever do, is just her laughing at me.
I put that on our list of topics to discuss because, I actually think they're pretty funny, and I'm your brother, and it's like usually if somebody posts something and I happen to be on social media, I'll just either watch it with sound off or, it's like each other's bits and lines so well, but these are pretty funny. I do think that we should make our Instagram grid a little bit more variety. But,
well, I've started going through here. I'll pull up the screen. I've started going through and basically removing them from the grid so that you can see like more. This is what Instagram really wants more of. Thoughtful or music
Face
shots, or that one. Yeah, we'll play a couple of those reels later
You
on.
see how many sunglasses we were wearing in that picture?
Oh,
That's a
I
lot
had
of
a thought
sunglasses.
about that. Who was it? One of the Black Keys posted something about the guys. The side project came up, and they were all wearing sunglasses in the studio, and I was just like, middle-age crisis. We're all victim to it, I think, at some point. But like, I don't know. Do sunglasses still work? Are they still cool?
What's the phrase? The sun never sets on cool.
I understand the instinct to do it because you feel like you're hiding basically, and then when you're hiding and you don't feel as vulnerable, you can act cooler. But
yeah, it's literally like when you're a kid and you'd go, "You can't see me, you can't see me."
like a vulnerability
Or if
mask.
there's like a pop-up poker game, maybe you got to be ready.
Yeah, but there's very few people who can actually pull it off, I think, where you don't consider them uncool. I can't even think of that person. The Say No Name friend on Twitch is saying there should be only 2 sunglasses per band member. Wait, 2 sunglasses per band.
Per band,
Yeah, not
One
per
tank
member.
top,
2 sunglasses each
yeah.
is too much.
Well, yeah. So we go. What do you say? We got 1 tank top, 2 sunglasses. Any other limitations?
Probably a hat. Like Danny's not wearing a hat today, so I can wear one, but we should switch it up like that.
Well, yeah. You could have 1 hat, 1 beanie, but not 2 baseball hats.
We've all got 4 beards now. Dylan's beard's gone full farmer. Let's
5
talk a little
strings
bit
per
actually about
guitar.
this. Is Dylan's been very busy. If any of you guys follow his farm Instagram account, which is Songland Farms, that's really started to come together. Like you're actually selling vegetables at the markets now. The one nearby where I live, which is Dripping Springs Market, I've gone a couple times to check out what he's doing, and you're selling a lot of vegetables. People need vegetables more than songs, it seems.
Yeah, it's like feels a little better than selling merch at the merch table. Because
Do
someone
you sign your vegetables?
I push it on them. Do you want that eggplant signed? Yeah, I mean technically we're still a non-profit because the amount of money we dumped into the land and everything and all the
Yeah, it doesn't
gear.
matter.
think it's
Money
best.
coming in is not money going out.
Yeah, it's pretty. I mean, it's pretty crazy. I'll give you like one little number. We sold at that market. We sold $90 worth of lettuce, and to give you a sense of what space that came off of, it's like you probably can't see in any of the cameras. It's about 5 feet of one bed. I mix lettuce and mix like a greens mix. 5 feet of lettuce and 5 feet of a greens mix.
And that's gone now for the season.
No, that's just what I picked from that morning to sell. And
Okay.
that was $90 worth of lettuce.
Yeah.
And I don't know how many linear, like 1,500 or 4,500 linear feet of bed space. So I mean, it's pretty crazy, and it's kind of encouraging to because people keep coming back. They need to eat their food every week.
Yeah, that is one of the appealing things about that versus doing what we're doing in some respects is trying to sell digital content that can be copied and shared on the internet and no one
you
cares
copied it.
about. Yeah.
Dan, you're super quiet.
was-
That's maybe why you're not getting a word in.
I'm gonna add. I was thinking about adding Jesse's bread NFTs to the list.
Oh yeah. Well, any product that cannot be replicated, which in theory NFTs, that's what they're aiming to achieve, digital scarcity. So maybe that's going to be the answer. Minting your bread and minting your lettuce.
Minting your mint.
Otherwise, you have to just keep, same with food though. You have to keep showing up. It's not like you can, sell a batch of lettuce and then like live off the royalties. So
That's the problem with this day and age and with us is that when you write one song and it makes as much money as Come With Me Now, that's the name of the song, has done it completely warps your sense of what like working and what a job is, you know? It's not like one of those, it's not a retire song. We didn't make anywhere near enough to retire. We're going to keep working. Dylan's trying to sell lettuce, if that gives you a sense of how much it made, but it made a good amount of money. And it just warps your sense of things that like we did, you know, some amount of work for that, and then it just keeps paying out. And I feel like everyone's in that mindset now of trying to find, because we all watch Instagram and TikTok and see all these passive earning people that just sit back and do whatever, real estate or stock investing. And that's the idea now. And the dream is to just never work. And it's kind of weird and you're seeing the opposite side of that now, because it's the exact opposite. The farm, it needs daily, hourly attention to keep that system going.
Yeah, I mean, especially recently, like seeing the stock market volatility, and I have some stocks, so I see the work and the amount of hours I put into growing the stuff, harvesting, going to the market, and then I see the stocks like this last week just drop. It's there's just a total disconnect, and that's what I've been coming around to more, is like there's no escaping unless you do become a billionaire or, you know, millionaire. There's no escaping some amount of input into your own sustenance, and and a decent amount. And it's like, it's not only about that, it's actually quite rewarding. It's kind of like when it's a similar feeling to when someone comes up to you and says, oh, that song changed my life, or that song meant a lot to me at this time. Like having someone come up to you and buy some food that they fed their family with, and they recognize the difference in taste compared to like going to the local HEB or whatever. It's pretty rewarding, and it feels good, and you kind of feel happy about giving people good food.
I think that's what leads to, generally speaking, resentment towards the ultra rich. It's obviously that people just resent things that they don't have, but then it's more so they resent more the people that appear like they're not working, because they've seemed to have disconnected from what all of life appears to be for everyone else. I don't know if there's the same amount of resentment towards billionaires that work their way up there, which obviously that's a debatable question because everyone gets, quote, unfair starts or whatever. But when you see someone working and continuing to work regardless of the money, I think that removes some of the resentment from it. And I
think we're entering a time though where the sort of effort to output, you know, to return is getting extremely distorted. I think anytime like, you know, currencies get distorted like they are now all over the place, inflation and stuff, and also like technological changes. I mean, I think about it with our music. When we made Come With Me Now, we actually did spend years on it because we refined it and then re-recorded it and then, you know, did it live. And then finally, by the time it came out, it still took years before it like clicked and made money. But there is no linear relationship between the time and effort and like sweat that you put into something and how much money it makes. Because we spent the same amount of time on some other songs that earned us like a fraction of that, you know? So there's no direct corresponding, you know, one-to-one output of that kind of work. And it's confusing.
Well, yeah, since I've been doing all these reels, I'm obviously watching and consuming a lot more of them, both because it's just addictive, that scroll, but also trying to learn and see what it is that's working out there. And Danny turned me on to that guy, Chef Reactions. He's just a chef, I'm assuming in New York. He sounds kind of like a New Yorker. And he watches other chefs' videos, some good, some bad, and then jokes about them or comments on how good they are. And I saw he did a post the other day, and in the comments, because he just hit 2 million subscribers, he said he went from whatever he was at when he started the account, which I'm guessing is not very much, to 1 million subscribers in 94 days, I think he said. So
that's a complete anomaly.
Well, yeah, but it happens quite often. It happened particularly over this pandemic. Like, who's the most followed TikTok guy, that Italian guy that does, like, what's his name? Kale, whatever he is. He's like hundreds of millions of followers. It was in a matter of a year. And there's no real explanation for that, because no one is that entertaining or good. You know, it's not like some magical person appeared on Earth. It's like you hit that leverage point in the algorithm where, you know, it's like watching a stock chart go vertical. You know, it's there is like a 10x, 100x type mechanism that kicks in when you hit certain
features of that algorithm,
Yeah.
Are you trying to, Pernilla says, are you trying to tell us you're getting TikTok?
I'm on TikTok. I've got somewhere between
Speaking
400 divided by 10 and 500 divided by 10 followers there. Dude, it's the same thing with everything. You have to do every platform. I have a feeling
you don't have to do
TikTok might
I don't think.
TikTok is, I would feel like, is got more current like attention energy in it than any other platform. I think it might go away because it might actually just be spyware, allegedly. Don't sue me, but there's a lot of negativity towards it, and then everyone's fighting. Instagram, YouTube are fighting it with their version of the same thing.
I don't
Speaking
think it's
of
going
TikTok-
anywhere. They're trying to do fulfillment centers to compete with Amazon.
What, are you being serious?
Yeah,
What are
You
you
mean like
fulfilling?
retail?
What?
Like-
physical deliveries and warehousing. TikTok. TikTok.
Welcome
You gotta
to
buy this
Costco. I
fucking
love
thing.
you.
Yeah. I would think that maybe that non-linear output to whatever you're talking about is just a part of human history, because there was some anthropologist, I think she's at ASU actually, and she was speculating about early human history, and people used to think it was like hunting, that accelerated human kind of energy and all that kind of stuff, and she was saying it's probably scavenging, because the tool use was way later, but some human figured out like 2001, oh, you can break open this mammoth bone and get the marrow because the marrow is preserved. So there was this massive resource of energy that the only things that were getting to that were like hyenas or whatever who could break those bones. So like there was this simple leverage of using a rock that then gave you 10 times the energy you could have done otherwise.
Yeah, there was an economist that coined the term, I believe. His name was Thorsten Veblen, and I only remember that because I had to do a freaking book report in high school on this guy, and he talked about this idea of leisure time, which, in a modern sense is basically this technology has given us more time to do things, but take that idea back, like you're saying, to any advancement of any kind radically changes the amount of time that you have for other things. We're seeing that now, and it does feel a little end-timey, because when people have got time to do the silly things that we're all doing, it just feels like you're watching Rome, like you guys, this doesn't feel like it's sustainable to be able to just sit around for 22 hours a day making dumb videos.
Well, it's the pursuit of free time, I think, it's not a bad thing, but you really have to think about what it is you want or should be doing with free time, because I have basically none of that anymore. Waking up early, working in the garden. I'm still doing a lot of stuff on the farm. I try to get into the studio at night. So and I don't, other than when I start to feel frustrated and kind of overwhelmed, for the most part, I don't want extra time to sit around and do something. It's one thing to try to be creative or some passion to pursue, but just free time, it's for the sake of it. What's the point? That's what I start and keep on asking myself, is like, what do I actually want to do with my free time? I actually want to be occupied with something.
Yeah, that's what I did in July. Because we all kind of just decided, all right, let's just actually take a break. So we did a bit of vacation, went to Florida and then I came back and intentionally. And the first week, it's not that hard to say I'm not doing any work at all, because it's like, oh, awesome, I don't have to fucking do anything. But then you start finding yourself with this little bit of anxiety, like I should be doing something. And then if you don't just immediately give in to that and go do the thing that you used to do, which whatever it is, working on Instagram reels, mixing songs, writing songs, and you just sit in that moment of like, what is this thing that makes me want to feel that I want to do something? That's, I think, a really interesting thing to do. And Osho dude talks about that also. I think we've talked about it before, this idea of boredom. Like you have to sit there in it and decide what it is really that you're wanting it to do. Because most of it's just this weird compulsion to do something, anything, just to keep your brain from, like, keep the quiet away. Because if you get quiet, then you go, uh-oh, shit, something serious out there.
There's even boredom, though, in doing stuff. If you, like, I will get bored doing something, even though I'm very busy. I can still be bored doing it, and that's it's the same kind of concept. There's a quality of being that can be different no matter what you're doing.
Yeah. It's just occasionally you do need to. It's like there's the Christian parable of when Jesus ascends the mountain. Every now and then you have to actually step out of the flurry of life because it's so overwhelming. It's not that you can abandon life. You have to come back and go on the waves, so to speak. But having a bit of a break occasionally does allow you to get the perspective and reset and consider that. Otherwise, you can just be caught up in the waves of it all.
Before we move off the TikTok subject, can you play that video I sent you? And before you do
the Twitter link,
yeah,
it's not loading for some reason.
Oh,
Yeah.
It's working. Not working at all?
Not working at all.
That's weird. I just clicked on it. It worked for me.
Yeah.
Anyway, obviously the stock market and everything else is tanking right now, and so this meme has been making its way around the internet, and basically the idea is that these people are to blame for everything economic right now. The TikTok investors.
Yeah.
You still not working?
It's not loading. Yeah. It could be my browser or something. It's not loading. So.
Oh. All right.
Well,
let me see if it'll
so what
work for me.
you're saying it's all like these.
There's no point talking about it if we can't watch it.
Well, no, but the concept.
Hey, see if. Can you guys hear this?
Enjoy doing.
Yeah.
So if you have friends that like.
Okay, so these people, the meme going around is that these people are to blame for everything economic right now.
Oh yeah, I saw this.
So how do we make money from home? For starters, this is not a sponsored video. We just get this question all the time, and honestly, the answer is...
Sorry, I want to make sure that you guys are hearing it on the stream as well. You may or may not. Are you guys hearing it on the stream? And I will replay it. Did we get an answer?
I don't think so. Just play it.
No, they are.
Okay.
They are.
Okay, cool.
So how do we make money from home? For starters, this is not a sponsored video. We just get this question all the time, and honestly, the answer is really simple.
So basically, I just trade stocks on an app called Robinhood, which I left a link in our bio if you want to check it out. It's free to download, free to sign up. They actually give you a free stock, so they're paying you to sign up. But again, not sponsored. And I know trading sounds intimidating. Here's my strategy in a nutshell. I see a stock going up and I buy it, and I just watch it until it stops going up, and then I sell it, and I do that over and over, and it pays for our whole lifestyle. If you're wondering how much you can make doing this, in this month I turned about 400 into 14,000, and in this month I turned less than 1,000 into 20,000.
And honestly, my favorite part about this isn't even the amount of money you can make, but just the fact that we don't have to go to a 9-to-5 job.
Yeah, we can focus on things that we actually enjoy doing. So if you have friends that want to make money from home, you can tag them or send them a link. Or if you make money this way, share it in the comments so other people know there's more people doing this now.
So how do we make money from home?
But wait, sorry,
Wait, hold on. You like money too?
that's not a parody account.
No.
Jesus Christ. That's what gets me
like a whole
depressed
thing.
about my reels is no matter how funny I think they are, it's not funnier than the fucking real idiots out there saying this kind of shit.
I mean, when I had the same reaction. I thought, oh, this is a joke when I watched it. But then there's tons of these videos. It's a whole thing, TikTok investing, basically. Those people who are giving financial advice in their reels, basically. And, I mean, when the stock market is going on a tear like it was, in the last couple of years when they were printing money, it seems like that could be an actual strategy. It's just buy money and watch it go up. I mean, buy stocks and watch it go up. But
This was happening in the 20s leading up to 29. There was just a
Conga's
bunch
going to
of...
the moon.
Conga. Yeah, well, that's a later announcement. Kongcoin. There is actually a Kongcoin. I don't know what it does.
That's not different fundamentally from governments, they're just like, well, when we run out of money, we just make more of it.
Yeah.
And then it's definitely no one. That's not going to have consequences later. No.
My friend,
I mean,
my
the
friend tried to
entire
get me to buy a
monetary-
Kongcoin.
What does it do? What is it?
I have no idea. I think it's just a picture of a gorilla.
Oh, it's like a joke coin, like
Yeah, like-
Dogecoin started. Yeah.
There's also a Toko coin. I can't remember what that one does, like Tokolosh.
What the heck, man?
But yeah, the monetary policy of the countries around the world basically is, here's a pizza. Oh, we're running out of pizza. Let's cut it into more slices.
Speaking of money, check this out, guys. So we've relaunched the merch store. It's at a new web address, which is shop.dollarquestion.org. We'll post that in the chat. We're doing like a lot of people are doing. It's different fulfillment of all the merch. Basically, we work with a company called Printful, and they create the merch as it's ordered. So we're not having to deal with all the stock problems. We're also not ordering like 300 shirts and then sitting on them for years. So a lot of the old basic stuff's up there. We've got Birds Do It shirts, Bees Do It shirts, heart logo. One I like. This I think is cool.
I'll just score it here, Joe.
And all the downloads, you can download the 3 albums, instrumentals, MP3s, high quality waves, all that, of course, the vinyl and CDs and all that stuff. So check it out if you haven't. I know the store's been like off and on for the last year or so, but it's getting better. And we'll keep adding new merch. In fact, I think for this new song, we've got it up there, but we'll post a link
It
to this
might
properly.
make more sense when you hear the song.
Yeah. Turn this round, tease. And if there's any cool ideas that you would actually like for merch, let us know, because it's a lot easier for us to kind of do smaller orders now of things. So check that out.
I think the same link still works. Store.congress.com. It still redirects there.
All right. All right.
Someone's asking why you don't talk, Dylan.
He's talked more on this
Did.
Yeah,
this one than he's talked on any of the last 25 podcasts.
I'm just the messenger.
Oh.
I'm just saying what the question was. I'm not saying
No,
I'm
yeah,
agreeing with it.
I've been talking. Usually on the other podcasts, it's difficult for me to talk because my internet was so bad that I'd always be about 2 or 3 seconds behind. And then I'd start to talk and the conversation had already moved on. So I just looked like an idiot or I was laughing at things late. But now my internet's a lot better. I'll probably still be coming to Johnny's, though, on Mondays when we do these to just get out of the house.
So Pernilla is saying we should have a Priest Do It shirt. I don't know about that. But if you want one, we'll do a one-off, like one code, special code that only one person can buy it. But Say My Name, Friend, said maybe more lyric-based shirt to pertain to the other songs. I've already liked those shirts. I think that's a good idea. We'll look through and
I've been
see.
saying that, yeah. There's so many good lines. I almost feel like, even from Turn This Around, I think that shirt's cool, but there's so many lyrics from that I think would make better T-shirts, even get like memeable T-shirts.
Yeah. You guys post them on our Discord, and we'll take any ideas from there, and then we'll think of which lyrics work nicely for that sort of thing. Should we just play a couple of my reels? If you guys haven't been seeing my reels, in fact, this one got straight up not shown because I think I said the word dollar too much and the algorithm didn't like it. I liked this one.
You could play some of my. Okay.
Certified. Once upon a time, I was in New York City with my 3 platinum certified brothers. We had a big meeting with the record labels. We walked into the building, and the assistant met us at the door and said, "Can I buy you guys some coffee?" We said, "Sure." So we walked over to the coffee shop in the building, and she paid for our coffee. Cut to 18 months later, we get our statement from the record label, and there it is, the big recoupable item, coffee, $18.50. A lot of you probably think that's really petty. I just think it's a good business practice. In fact, it's something I've implemented here in Austin, Texas at our studios, Takalash Studios. There's a hidden charge on every single ice in this studio. Cloud to Gloss artisanal water, $2.50. The yellow chairs are $3.50 an hour. A couch is $4.50 an hour for one person, or $4.75 for 2, which is kind of a good deal. Each drum is kind of a la carte, so it's $25, $35 for the medium tom, $27 for the small tom, and $29, I
artists out there is if you're not immediately resentful of what the record label's doing, there's really a lot to learn there. Hey, Johnny Congas Platinum certified. Once upon a time.
It's like Getty. used to
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
phone,
That's
you know.
I. When I was saying that, I was like, the people used to do that. John Paul Getty had payphones in his house
Yeah,
for his
yeah.
relatives to use.
Play
Someone,
some of my curry eggs and toast ones.
someone brought up. Yeah, I'll do to sounds that our mouth make have been weaponized. T-shirt. That's a kind of a good one from Speak Free.
Oh yeah. This is not particularly important or viral, but my alt Instagram account is Curry Eggs and Toast, where I mostly just show my cooking. But I did do quite an artistic piano one.
I saw that. Are
This is
people?
like alt-right cooking.
I just wanted to show my new piano. I'm really happy about my new piano. It's a new old piano, a 70s Yamaha, just like Danny's. It's pretty sick.
Do you know what's kind of funny? It's sometimes Dylan sent me that guy going down a mountain on a BMX bike. Like, there's some crazy, amazing shit on Instagram, TikTok, all these places where you go like, okay, I understand why this has 200 million views. Like, I'm nothing I'm making is as compelling as that. And then there's stuff like your video, Jess, that people are doing without any sense of irony or anything that's getting 100 million views, and people are commenting like, OMG, this is so important to my life and that sort of thing. And I made the mistake because I use a lot of these stupid hashtags in my reels of like spiritual verbiage. And I made the mistake of clicking on a couple of those hashtags now, and that's all I see in my feed for like a day, as it thinks that's what I want to see. And holy shit, if you go down the spiritual, the Instagram spiritual world, it's insane, like actually insane what people are posting about on there, and the millions of people that are like, amen to this and that and whatever they're saying.
You know how you're not really allowed to give financial advice unless you're like accredited, and so all these amateur people are like, every time they do a story or whatever video on a stock, whatever, they say, this is not financial advice, I'm not your financial advisor. I think the same should be true for spiritual advice. Like, you should not be able to give spiritual advice unless you have
unless you can turn water into wine.
not instead of NFA is NSA, not spiritual advice.
Yeah, there's no competition. You can't compete with subtle humor, I feel like, because or using subtle humor, because none of it actually comes across. It's like Todd Glass is a good example where he's a comedian with already a following.
Yeah.
Sometimes like I get the curry eggs and toast jokes, and I even your reels, Joey, like they make me laugh, but I'm trying to put myself in someone's shoes who comes across the account and doesn't know you, is not on our Discord, hasn't met us in person, and they come across it and they see the hashtags. I think they're literally just not going to get the joke. They're going to think it's real.
Yeah, but maybe it's not a bad thing because
it filters out.
But I'm also peppering in enough like spiritual mumbo jumbo bullshit that some people might think I'm a guru eventually, and that'll be terrifying.
Who knows? Maybe it's that Sufi story where the guy, is a fake guru, and then through having to live up to the reputation of a guru becomes one.
Yeah, I don't think that's going to happen with me.
Jeez, but looking at Jesse's Instagram though, we need some of that bread. I've been buying. Buying a few loaves each week from the guy at the market. Hello Bread, I think his name is, and they're pretty
Oh, yeah.
damn.
So
they're
funny.
pretty
I've been
damn good.
buying loaves
Yeah.
of bread too. that meme or that conspiracy theory will not die on our Discord. That I go to the store and buy it and take it out of the bag to photograph it.
Well, it's because there's probably a lot of people doing that. You
Yeah.
know?
Well, you know that in LA there was a big crackdown on farmers markets where people were going to Costco and buying all their vegetables and then going to the farmers market and upselling it or like marking the price up and calling it organic. And I mean, and Costco has pretty good. They weren't even going to Costco; they were going to like Walmart and places
Yeah.
where it's just selling utter shit produce, and then calling it organic. And
Well, it's the problem that organic's gotten almost like a useless thing to it now because it's the exploitation of that word's not even like that's kind of small level stuff. It's on the big corporate level where they're bending the definitions
Yeah.
to fit what works so they can charge $1,000 for it. Let's talk about the songs and lyrics we all picked for this week. Danny, will you go last because it doesn't look like you've added one. I'll go first. So I've been watching this show.
Well,
This show, Rami, on Hulu, and it's the Rami Youssef, I think, is a comedian. He's got a show, I think, 3 seasons now. A really funny show, and also it's got heart, as they say in the industry. It really is the first show in a long time, I think, that doesn't feel dead behind the eyes. Like it wasn't written by a committee of Netflix script writers. It's written by someone who cares about what he's writing about and is genuinely kind of trying to search in his life. It's about Islam in America from a kind of comedic standpoint, but also, there's a dramatic element to it. And he's it does a really good job of bridging that gap and showing the humanity of everything and everybody. But he also has I don't know if it's him or his music supervisor is always playing really cool hip hop from the Middle East. So it's all this, like, kind of the beats are very similar to what you're hearing in like mainstream hip hop now, but in Arabic, the rhythm of that language is so different that I find way more interesting rhythmically. So we'll post the links to these on the podcast episode on Spotify and Apple Music and all that. But it's a song called Wadi by Ab Yusuf. And I'll just post the links here in the
they need to
chat.
figure out a way to monetize or like account for playing music on podcasts because it'd be nice to be able to play stuff.
Yeah, you can if you do it only on Spotify.
Yeah.
You do samples, but they haven't figured that out. So I posted that link. Check that out. It's a really cool track. My lyric for today, I don't know why I've only added this song to my library now. I've known about it for a while. It's Joe Walsh, Life's Been Good to Me. It's the original Egomaniac Self-Aware album or lyric, I think. And so the lyric for this song, I'll post the link and then just read the lyric, is: I have a mansion, forget the price. Ain't never been there, they tell me it's nice. I live in hotels, tear out the walls. I have accountants pay for it all. They say I'm crazy, but I have a good time. I'm just looking for clues at the scene of the crime. Life's been good to me so far. My Maserati does 185. I lost my license. Now I don't drive. I have a limo ride in the back. I lock the doors in case I'm attacked. It's an awesome song, and it's really good, funny, but serious lyric. And I feel like we were trying to capture some of that vibe in Egomaniac, lyrically speaking, particularly on songs like, obviously, Take It From Me. What's it called? I Want It Free. Those types of lyrics where it's self-aware of fame. Obviously, he's from the freaking Eagles, massive. Ours was this miniature scale of it, but
Yeah, the Eagles documentary where he kind of finally joins the band. That part of it is really, he like finally brings a little bit of edge and like rock and roll, to the otherwise soft rock band.
hate the fucking Eagles, man.
I picked Jealous Guy, which is a John Lennon song, but I picked the Donny Hathaway live version. You can look it up on Song Whip. It's all over. Changes the song a little bit. Just one of the all-time great singers, I think, and also just a great band and a really different spin on that song. Because I've always liked the song since I was a kid, but then I heard this version. I was like, holy shit, it's a whole nother thing. The lyric I picked was, I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. I like to move it, move it. You like to move it. And it's kind of ironic, but at the same time, I'm like, it's an incredible record. You know, you can't take anything away from it. It stands the test of time. It's like one of the great club tracks of all time. And to do that, to take a sort of generic, instructive lyric like that and make it into a fucking cool song it's not easy. It's really not easy, because when you read it like that, it's like there's a bunch of lyrics like that, and everyone's always trying to do it like, get up, move your hands, let's move, let's shake it, and 99% of them are just terrible.
Yeah, it either comes across as corny and doesn't stand the test of time, or it comes across intentionally like tongue in cheek and funny. And it's like serious. That song's serious. It's like a serious club track. You're not laughing when you do it. Listen to it. But yeah, it is an epic one.
Somebody mentioned Madagascar. I got sort of reintroduced to this song because it was a hit when I was a kid in middle school or something like that, or grade school, and it literally exploded the whole dance, or the whole party, the whole birthday party every time it came on. But it was also like older kids and teenagers and grown-ups who were really into it, and then now I hear it again all the time in the Madagascar movies with my kids, and it's still got it basically.
Yeah. Dylan,
I picked the Tedeschi Trucks band, Sweet and Low. There's usually it's what's her name? Susan Tedeschi and Derek Trucks, their husband and wife. And usually Derek Trucks gets like a nice long solo in these songs, and in this one he doesn't. And it's a great song and great melody and soul to it. But Derek Trucks gets like one little 4-bar solo that brings it back to one of the verses, and it's like distilled sugar. It's one of the best 4 bars of slide ever. You can listen to the whole song just to hear that one little line of slide guitar.
Well, and when someone does something like that, part of you thinks, I wish I could have heard a much longer solo, but it's precisely that makes you go back and listen over and over and over. Yeah. And I like when we have occasionally accomplished that, where it's like the saying, like leave them wanting more in the best possible way.
And then lyrics, I got to put my glasses on. I was trying to find something in the last 2 minutes before we went on the podcast. This is Riverman by Nick Drake. It's probably my favorite song of his. It's actually different because most of the time you can't actually understand or hear anything the guy says. He just he just mumbles the whole time. And this is a kind of mysterious lyric, and it's got one of the best quartet arrangements and string arrangements of any kind of acoustic song, I think. And I keep trying to figure out what the lyric is about. I have a feeling he's referencing Siddhartha and the man at the river, which is kind of a representation of higher understanding or higher knowledge. I'm not sure. I could be projecting that, but it seems like it's leaning that way. Going to see the riverman, going to tell him all I can about the ban on feeling free. If he tells me all he knows about the way his river flows, I don't suppose it's meant for me. Oh, how they come and go. Oh, how they come and go.
It's funny you say you don't know whether you're projecting, because I often wonder that, we all do that about everything. We project what we're thinking or what's going on in our mind. How many times have people done that about a lyric that's not at all deep, was completely superficial, and now has become like this mysterious thing? I know that's happened with some Bob Dylan songs for sure, where he was just like, whatever. There's a bunch of words, and now everyone takes it to be gospel sort of thing. Danny, what do you got for us? Because I'm not seeing it on the shared notes.
Oh, sorry. I put it in Signal.
Okay.
I got Joy Inside My Tears by Stevie Wonder. And I like the chord sequence is just really weird. And it kind of sounds like, who's that band from Twin Peaks?
I never remember the name.
Julie Cruz. It's like, he did that kind of thing better than anyone's ever done it. You know, like his synth sounds, and it just sounds a bit like that sonically, but then it's Stevie Wonder. You know, and the lyric is from the same song. I've always felt that tomorrow is for those who are too much afraid to go past yesterday and start living for today. I feel that lasting moments are coming far and few between, so I should tell you of the happiness that you bring. It's just, nice lyric, but also just weird phrasing. I've always felt that tomorrow is for those who are too much afraid. You know, kind of like almost, I don't know, it sounds like...
Yeah, he's moving certain important words around that, give it a...
Yeah, I mean, it starts with this lyric, which I don't even... doesn't quite make sense. Like the opening line is, I've always come to the conclusion that but is the way of asking for permission to lay something heavy on one's head.
Yeah, if you read that, you'd think there's no way that can sound poetic, and then he finds a way, obviously.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I think we'll probably call it today on this podcast. Like we said, October 28th, new song, Turn This Round, which has never been heard before by the public ears, will be coming out. The week of that, we will preview it here on the stream. Other announcements were merch store is back up. We'll post the link for that one more time. Follow us on all the other social media for dumb and stupid videos and all that sort of thing. Join the Discord if you haven't joined the Discord, because that is still going on. Like, we disappeared for 3 months on our whatever we were doing, goofing off, and it kept going, which is really great to see that it's like it's a community now of people that have made friends and found other things that they're interested in that doesn't require us to be there. And that's actually a cool thing, because so often it's just a bit of the us preaching to the choir thing. And now, like, I went back after a couple months and there's like people having hundreds and thousands of conversations about all kinds of things. And that's like kind of cool to see. So Victor on Facebook says, I don't have Discord anymore. Well, just get rid of Facebook and switch it out for Discord, and your life will be a lot better.
Also get Datcord.
Yeah, I'm going to upload them to Spotify, Apple, all the podcast places, so you can go watch them there. If you subscribe to us on Twitch, you get the ad-free version, and you can watch it on like video on demand. You know, they live up there for 2 weeks or a month or something, and then we'll put them on the Patreon. To be perfectly honest with everyone, we're just going to be doing a lot more of this stuff, I guess, like open to the public, because we're trying to grow it, and we're finding like if we just put things behind too many paywalls, it doesn't grow. So we're constantly examining the Patreon thing. If you still choose to support us there, obviously it's much appreciated to keep all the like costs of going, like literally just like other than us costs of living, like, I mean, literally just keeping the podcast going and the studio and all the equipment and all that stuff that we do to do this. We appreciate that. Other than that, it's going to be available everywhere. The archives. Yeah. All right, guys. Thanks for joining us as we get back on our feet on this one. The next one will be on Monday, and we're going to try and just get into a regular routine on Mondays of doing this kind of thing. So
I muted myself, so you haven't heard the last 5 things I've said. I had it. They were hearing me. The audience wasn't hearing me. Yeah, so Monday, actually, we're going to do Monday a little bit earlier if you guys can. I think it says, it's I forget what time it said, but we're going to do it like half an hour or an hour earlier than it says on the thing. We'll change that.
Okay. Cool. See you guys next week, Monday.
See ya.
See ya.
Later.